All right, we'll get started. Morning, everybody. Today's topic is inventory stock, and a lot of us are very cautious about what's my stock in hand, what's the value of my stock, um, how do I move it from one place to another, how do I check what is selling, which ones are moving the most. So I thought let's have a review on that. um, I do understand a lot of times we add and we get our customers started with AltheaSuite, and sometimes we do not have a proper stock value, or sometimes we are in the rush adding things and later on thinking this is right, this is wrong. And there are certain ways now we have added to fix that data too. So I'm going to share my screen. This is my sandbox. And so first, let's try to understand how do you check your stock and how do you check your stock value. So the value of what I sell and value of what I have are two different things. So what I sell to my customer and I want to know the cost of that is called COGS, cost of sale. That gets attached to every invoice. Now, there are times when I am making a sale, I don't have that product with me, and I am also going to create a purchase later on and buy it. And now that invoice stays as no cost to you, $0. But then there are times when I have everything there, and I am moving my stock from one warehouse to another, and I also am correcting that stock. So then what happens to that stock that I corrected? That is going to reduce your asset value. So how do we track all that? One of the things that I have done in my sandbox is AltheaSuite can calculate your COGS, cost of sales, in two ways. One is it takes average, meaning if you have two model numbers, it's going to take calculate one price and another price and divide it by two, and that's your average cost, and that's how it applies. But in case of appliances, we realize that you have serial number and you have the unique cost of each element, so we can take COGS as per the serial number. So it's just a simple setting in my account. I want to calculate COGS per serial number and not average it out. So now let's see what happens. Um, I'm going to go to serial number manager on my screen here, and I have a model number. So even if you don't have appliances, you have furniture, we could still have a unique number for each of your furniture, especially if it's an expensive one. It's good to track where exactly it is and with which customer it is, and it also helps you track the warranty better. So I'm making, I'm just showing you that I made purchase of this same model number at two different prices. Maybe I had a rebate first time and next time I don't have it. The only way I can see the cost of each being separate is with that unique number. And even if you have a furniture store, we can generate that unique number. It does not have to be a manufacturer model number. Now, how is this going to help us? So let's, I know our workflow is going to be create an order and do an invoice, but I'm going to just create an invoice and show you for that model number. So we're going to just come here and create a new invoice. We'll add a customer. How are we going to do this? We're going to say it needs to be delivered. I'm going to add this model number. It's a combo item, so we can add something. I'm going to say I don't need any warranty. I'm going to remove this also. We can check the exact costing. So we have a product which is serialized or it has a QLN. This is my sales price. At this time, I have not assigned the serial number. We're saying that this needs to be delivered. Let's take a look at the stock. I do have stock of two different serial numbers. Let's go ahead and accept the payment. It's, you have not specified serial number. We're going to save that, accept the money by card, and save that invoice. Invoice is saved. My COGS is zero because I did not allocate the serial number because I said I don't want to do average. I want to have COGS exactly per serial number in my AltheaSuite account. Now, all you did are going to do is either you create a back order PO and receive that stock invoice will get updated with that invoice serial number, or I could have just gone here. I am going to say reserve inventory, and then see we have two of them. I'll pick up this one and allocate it to that. So in serial number, my COGS got updated to $894 here. So what I'm trying to say is that to manage the COGS exactly per unit for appliances always have serial number. For the products which are furniture and they do not have serial number, obviously we can generate a serial number. We can do the setting. I want to manage unique cost of each of my product. And even if you have made a sale and you did not have that product at any time when you receive it in future, the invoice is automatically going to get updated with the cost of sale. So this is one way to do the setup, and this can take care of a lot of people having this problem that I don't have COGS, hey, because it was neither added or there's no purchase in the system at the time it was sold. This can take care of that issue. Now let's go ahead and do a stock correction. So what does stock correction do? A lot of us just ad hoc are correcting the stock, removing the stock from the system, or when we should never add a stock in the system by stock correction, because adding a stock in the system meaning you want to add it properly by having its asset value, what was my purchase price and things like that. And we can discuss it with you how to do that. But let's go back to my serial number, and I'm going to just pick something randomly here. Um, I have the filter show me stock in hand. We're going to copy this model number. The cost is $79.5. I'll go to the stock correction and it is sitting at my display warehouse. Go to stock correction. We're going to correct it and make it zero. That means my serial number is missing and I'm going to remove it. So add it. It's saying you have one in stock. Oh no, I don't have it. I'm correcting it to zero. When you save it, it's going to say, okay, what is the serial number? Here is the serial number, which is getting corrected and being added as a missing. Let's go ahead and save it. So what happened with this? When I did that stock correction, I have actually created a financial transaction in my AltheaSuite account. Let's go to financial transactions and see what happened. Inventory adjustment account got a debit. Inventory asset account got a credit. Your inventory has reduced by that $75. So of course you can't be coming back here and checking how much of adjustments you have made via these stock corrections. So in business intelligence, there is a report, stock corrections in date range. I'll give you total value of the stock which have been corrected. If it has a price associated with it, it's going to take care of that and give you how much you have corrected and how much you have reduced your asset or increase. Well, we do not suggest that we add a stock from there, but correcting is required at times. So stock correction is required if it is missing. And in Althea Suite, there are two ways to correct stock. One is actually correcting the stock, like, it is it is just something that I can't find. It can be corrected. But it is something which I have it, but it has just become so bad that I'm just going to dump it. I'll have to just recycle it. So you could do that dump correction. It creates the same type of financial transactions, but now you can have two different type of logs. How many items were missing and corrected, and how many were actually trashed because of some reason or other. So this is the other way. The process is same, the financials are same, but the reporting is going to be different. So just to recap, set up your account for COGS per serial number. This will help you with all these um, inventory valuation will be per serial number. We're never going to take an average, but that means if you added something with $0 cost, then it's not going to average. It's a $0. So we have to be careful about that thought there. Um, Go ahead and when you make an order, order is not going to do anything. Order is just an order. It is just going to commit the stock. But when you make an invoice, it is going to save that invoice with the COGS of that serial number. So coming to the so we're going to come to the next thing which I had discussed last time. A lot of people are still asking, how do I check my stock? How is AltheaSuite telling me what I have in stock and what I have not in stock? Um, there is a quick way to check your stock right here. It works on your smartphones. It works on your iPad. You would just select any SKU and it's going to quickly tell you that current stock is 7. Now, this is stock across all your locations. I can further apply the filter. Show me what is at the warehouse because I don't want to consider the displays and everything. This gives you your actual stock in hand. Now, I want to have more details about it. Like it is also telling you that you have 5 in hand. Um, you have 4 available quantity to sell because you have already committed for one to somebody. Uh, Committed meaning you have created a sales order where you're going to sell this to somebody. Let's take a look at the same model over here and what further details will give you. So now my view has a little bit more information. I have 7 in hand. I have 1 pending on the order. uh, One of that has been committed. Now, some people want to say if I have 7 in hand and one of them is committed, I have 6 to sell. So that's your view. Now, some people want to say I have 7 in hand, I have 1 committed, but I have not scheduled anything because maybe my customer did not want it, it's just been committed. I still want to see as 7 I can sell. So there are different ways you can view your data. You can hide the screens if you don't want to consider this column or that column and have your business, everybody in your business run with the same logic. I do have a document online which how to check stock in Stock Manager. It gives a lot of details and we have described, we have defined every line here. How are we calculating it? How are those numbers coming? And then it's entirely all fields are customizable. Please hide what you want to see, what you don't want to see, and have everybody at your place look at the data in the same way. So on top of it, you also have further filters, fulfillment date up to. You see here, this order is created and the fulfillment is, it's an old order. This is my sandbox. I haven't even delivered it. But I could have further said that show me based on fulfillment date up to, meaning only show me what is due to be delivered till end of this month. I don't care about what I need to deliver later on. So the view is going to show you what you have committed till end of this month. And based on that, this is your current stock and how much you have to sell. I could also have another column here, arriving, meaning arrival date up to. Now I can say it's going to display here. Let's take some other item where I have arriving in POs. Okay, this is a good example. And we'll just put that in our search so we don't have too many things. It says that you have 14 quantity in hand. Out of that, I have pending fulfillment in orders is 3. 3 of them are committed on orders. 3 of them are sales orders. Total scheduled quantity out of those 3 which are on the order, one of them has been scheduled for delivery already. Customer has given a date and it's on the calendar to be scheduled. Now, if you want to think about it, that 13 are available to still sell, this is the column to use. But if you say, no, no, if I have committed 3, I don't want to consider that as to be sold. Available for you is 11. Now, arriving in POs is what is coming in future. Now, there are 30 quantities. Do you want to consider this as your stock? Consider arriving quantity as available. Go ahead and check that box. That means we're going to calculate and tell you what is coming in the future is also available to sell. So now suddenly the available quantity to sell becomes more. It becomes 41. These date ranges are were there from my last filter. And the data view here is working as per the date range. If you remove the date range, then it's all-time data that you see there. So this is how you can check your stock. To check your stock, please come to inventory stock. This is where you need to check your stock. Product definition page is actually meant to create the products, modify it, add new products, check the pricing, set the pricing, manage the categories, subcategories, filters, etc. Inventory screen is to check your stock, and we have given you all the information here. Now, recently we have added some reports, and if you now have a new updated account, suddenly we have tried to organize ourselves with these reports we keep adding. The report folder has become with subsections. So if I go to customers, so you'll see delinquent report, financials about the customer, statements, three folders are there. So what I'm trying to get to is the sales report. If I see that, and item sales. So some reports that we have added is item movement. You want to know what products you are selling and which ones are moving faster. So this item movement report, if I run this, and once again I'll just run it for this 4 days. This is a very good report. It will tell you the date range that you have selected, the date range that you have selected in that date range. You could have done it for a year. It only brings the data that has been sold in that period that you have selected and number of quantity of that item that has been sold in last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Also, it tells you that how many of them are committed. um, as of now, what is your stock in hand? So it's a good report to check how your products are moving and which products are moving. We can create these views in the drill down, but this is already segregated nicely with the columns, and you could also download this as an Excel. Now, the same report is can be viewed in another way. I'm going to just say it for this week. And now if I run that report, in this one, I can see my product movement based on the month, April, May, June, July. How is it moving every month? So that one is with the days. As you run it from there on, it goes to 30 days, 60 days. But here and now, if you have been using this is year 2025. If we found some data of 2024, then it will create another column 2024. So you can go back as much as you have the data in the system. It's going to keep adding those columns and show you the product movement. Now, how do I check my stock value? Um, Under the stock, you will see there are so many different ways to check your stock value. But the reason we have so many different reports is because everybody wants to check their stock in their own way, the calculations. So please see that each report has a description with it. So why did we add two reports? Because there was a need to add two reports because some customers wanted this way and some customers wanted that way. So we added two reports, but we added the description to tell you that why there are two reports. And these two reports will not match. That's why there are two reports, because some of some of our customers want to check stock value based on the average price. Some of our customers want to check stock value based on the actual price. Some of our customers want to check stock value based on the last purchase price. So the stock value keeps changing as you have picked up the number with what you want to check your stock value. So I have pulled up this one report, stock value by warehouse with QLN and serial number. Even if you don't have QLNs, if you have serial numbers, that's perfectly fine. It gives the cost of each serial number that you have in the system. Document number is the invoice number or the order number. So if if the product, first thing it checks is it checks all the stock in the system which is not delivered. So here is the data dump. But now, if the product has been invoiced and not delivered, then this report is still going to give you that serial number because it's in hand. I'm trying to find that. If I have anything which is invoiced and not delivered, there we go. This report is still going to give you that order number which has been delivered or invoice number that has that order number or invoice number that has not been delivered. So now um, total cost value is showing over here. So you have a reference of that number here. So stock at hand by QLN and serial number, or stock at hand with serial number only. If you do not need to get your data view with the um, QLN, just run that report. So now coming to, once again, it is all about inventory, and we want to know what we have received, when we received, and have we invoiced our created an invoice in our system for that. So we added some reports, intake reports, and there are three of them. Um, so what we suggest to our customers is create a PO, let warehouse scan it and receive the stock. Or you can just say receive goods. Simple one button, receive goods. That adds stock to the system right there. So this is going to tell you what you have received. Intake report, received goods, what all you have received. Now, what you have received as warehouse just scanned and received it does not mean it has been financially updated in the system, because the purchase team has to still go and check the costing and finalize that purchase and create the liability to pay your vendor. So, goods received, invoice pending, also intake report with supplier invoices created. So these three reports will give you what you have received and yet not financially updated that in the system, which is pending, and what you have received has been converted to supplier invoice. It's a beautiful report. I'll just run that. We'll run this report. Say, show me what I have received. Let's see if I have some data. Um, it gives you the QLN, serial number, cost at which you received it, um, um, what type of entry is it? It has to be purchased. It shouldn't be received goods. On which date, which vendor name. You can download this as an Excel to check what you have been receiving. There are other reports like purchase in the date range, or payments that you have to do in the date range. But you can run those. But this particular intake report will give you all the entries, have all the new stock that has been added in the system. So coming to inventory again and stock, you have stock in different warehouses. Um, when you receive it, it will receive at the warehouse from where you are creating that purchase. It is not going to receive as per the PO you have created. If I'm saying I'm creating a purchase at my warehouse, stock gets entered at that warehouse. So if you have to move it to your different locations, please come here, and under the inventory, we have ability to do a stock transfer. And if it's a product with a serial number, it's going to ask you assign the serial number when you're doing that transfer. Your one warehouse can also request to another warehouse as a stock transfer request, and that's absolutely fine. You will see here the stock transfer request sitting. That means warehouse A, location A is asking location B, can you transfer it? That creates a log, that creates a transfer in the system nicely, and it can be tracked. Now, in the last 5 minutes, I'm going to do a quick recap on a lot of our customers say that, okay, and I think this needs another big session. Um, how do I order what is my shortage? There are several ways to order your products instead of just sitting on the Excel and calculating the numbers. Um, we will discuss about it in the next meeting. You have an option in the sales order where if you did show consolidated item list, we're going to calculate and tell you what you have to order. But this is based on what orders you have received. And then we tell you what you need to order. But we also have option here to set up reorder levels. So it's pretty simple. You can come here, reorder level is per warehouse. I can come here and say, I can apply a filter. Um, it creates the same filters like item manager. I can say that for all my freezer items, I want to make at my AltheaSuite appliance warehouse, I want to create a rule that I must have 10 in stock all the time. As soon as stock becomes less than 10, trigger a reorder and make it 10 again. What does that mean? If my stock becomes 8, it's going to say purchase 2 more. If my stock becomes -8, it's going to say purchase 12 more. You can use this screen. It's available for everybody. It is going to help you um, keep safety stock for some of the products that you want to have. Not everything, but there are some products that we want to have it in stock all the time. Now, once you have done that, under inventory, under the stock, at any time you come here, you're checking the warehouse stock, you can say, show me items to be reordered. It's going to list everything which is below your safety stock level. From here on, you can do this, allow multiple selection, select all of them, and generate PO for all of them. So it's not sending this PO to your vendor. You still have, it's going to generate a PO. You still have ability to modify that PO, add more products to that PO, and then send it. But here I can say generate PO for all items. Now my products can have different preferred vendors. Some of them are from Ashley, some of them are from maybe GE. I can say create multiple POs. So group them as per the preferred vendors and create multiple POs. If you selected that, it's going to do it and it's going to create multiple POs in your system. Let's just say generate. If a preferred vendor is not there, it's going to say that for this particular item, you do not have any preferred vendors assigned. So look at this, how many POs it created a PO for Summit, Whirlpool, Sub-Zero, because I had so many different vendors. So, and for this item, it gave me an error. You do not have a preferred vendor, so I don't know for which PO I need to create for. Let's go back to my purchases. This is a very quick way to create POs. Um, There we go. These, I was just checking with the date here. These are all the POs we just created just by that one click. So now you can still come here and modify, remove, add, whatever you have to do. But this is a quick way to do that. One more thing is that we are showing you everywhere what is the PO receive date. So when I was in the stock screen, I was talking to you about that pen, arriving quantity in PO, that date when it is coming. So you can go to your product definition and default a date for, like, so let's we don't talk about this field a lot, but it is important. Um, so under the product definition, you can give your products a purchase lead days. Like normally it takes 9 days, give an estimated date. Now we will check based on this date and tell you everywhere, oh, it's coming on this date. So even if you created a PO and you don't have to think at that time and give it a date for that product when it is arriving, it's going to take that estimated date from here. So it can be set, I think, by updating, bulk updating, or an Excel, but this is a good field to set up here. So if I created a PO for this product, and if I have purchase lead days at 9, it will automatically show me arriving after those 9 days everywhere. That's what I was trying to say. So this is all from my side. If you guys have any questions, I can answer. How do I check all the stock of particular size? Okay. Um, and we have to create, um, you have to create a size as a subcategory in the system. Uh, and then our second filter, if you see here, can show you based on category, brand, subcategory, further color, size, whatever you define, you can check it. Yeah. But you will have to have that size as a field in your account. Then only we can filter that.
I have a question.
Yes.
So you're talking about the POs and you're putting those in, and then there's a section where it says specific edition expenses, which is like where we would put our taxes or freight.
Yes.
It
Great.
doesn't add into the total. And then when I try to do my supply inventory or my supplier invoice, it's not transferring that over. So what's the purpose of that? Because you put it
So
in and it's not totaling in with the PO, but it doesn't travel over with the supplier invoice either
correct,
when you're
correct.
tagging in that PO.
Yeah. So if you're using, so same system, people use it in a different way. If you're using supplier invoice, the financials are getting updated at the time of supplier invoice, not at the time of purchase. You don't even have option to create a purchase anymore in that. So in that case, this has to be added in the supplier invoice. We have to see what workflow you're using. If you added that, actually adding the expense in the PO is just for your reference purpose. See, now you have a PO with 10 products, and then you added an ad hoc expense of $30. And now from that PO, you created three different purchases. We don't know how to divide that. That's why it's just a reference. Actually, it should be added at the purchase level, because when you have received that product, that's when you receive the supplier invoice. And most of the time, that's the time, or even after that, what's your shipping or freight and all those charges with that invoice. So there's no need to add it in the PO. It's just added as a reference there. It has to be
Okay.
added at the supplier invoice or at the purchase. And we can do more one-on-one session to go over that. Yeah.
Okay.
But this is a good option. This helps you reverse calculate and divide it and add it to all our other products that you have received, and calculate the average cost, and also update your COGS based on that.
Thank you.
So I personally feel that you guys have to decide how you want to calculate your asset values. If you think it should be exactly, then um, settings, there is a COGS setting. Use serial number specific purchase price for COGS transactions. Um, this needs to be enabled. This will help you calculate your cost exactly as per that serial number. So no headaches of my COGS not getting updated in the invoice. As soon as the serial equivalent is added, it automatically gets updated. I think we are good. I don't see any more questions. Thank you everybody for joining us. We can stay here for another minute if anybody has questions. Um, we're good. Thank you. And I'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Bye, guys. See you in 2
Bye.
weeks.
Bye.